This is Gabby, your regular young teen at the start of her high school journey. She loves her sport, she loves her friends, and she loves Coco, her dog. You might think, young teen, far too young to commit to a career, and you would be right. However, it's not too young to start considering a career pathway and making sure that the choices you make at school leave your career options open. Have you heard of pathways? No, not that sort of pathway, although I guess it is similar. Pathways is what high schools call the different types of subjects and learning experiences they offer students that lead to particular qualifications. One of the pathways offered in Victoria, called VCE-VET, can actually lead to an apprenticeship or traineeship and provides a massive head start to becoming fully qualified in the trade of your dreams. VCE-VET stands for Victoria Certificate of Education, Vocational Education and Training. Yep, that's a mouthful and sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. The easy way to think of it is to focus on the word vocational. Unlike other pathways offered by high schools, VET provides vocational education and training, which means on-the-job training. This is great for people who love working with their hands, creating and building things, fixing stuff, and being outdoors. It's a pathway that supports you to learn on the job, avoiding large study debts, develop skills that are in demand, attain qualifications that are internationally recognised, and position yourself to set up your very own business in the future. Now back to Gabby. What's this all mean for her?
Well, I never want to be chained to a desk or stuck inside an office. And I do love creating and building things, so maybe this vocational pathways thing is worth exploring. But what is an apprentice and how do I become one?
Okay, so what is an apprentice and how do you become one? An apprentice is someone who is in training to become fully qualified in a particular trade. For example, to be an electrician, you must be licensed. And to qualify for that license, you need to have completed an apprenticeship. So, what's an apprenticeship? An apprenticeship is the process you go through to gain the knowledge and develop the skills required for your chosen trade. The apprenticeship process is a combination of classroom learning and hands-on job experience. The great thing about an apprenticeship is that you get paid while you learn. What you learn in the classroom helps on the job, and what you learn on the job helps in the classroom. You will get assessed as you go to make sure you can safely complete each required skill. Once you have passed all the assessments and are competent in all the required skills, your apprenticeship is complete. That's when you will receive your certificate and, for some trades, a licence, and you can consider yourself fully qualified. Then the sky's the limit. You can continue with your current employer, or you may want to go it alone with your own business. The time it takes to complete your apprenticeship will depend on the trade you have chosen, as well as how quickly you can complete all the required training and assessments. This will usually take 3 to 4 years on average. So, where do you start? There are just 4 parts to starting your apprenticeship journey that you need to get your head around. 1. Choose a trade. 2. Find a job. 3. Sign up an administrator. And 4. Enrol in a trade school. In the first step, choose a trade, there are so many trades to choose from. Now, hold on, before you jump in the deep end in selecting a particular trade, first take a good look in the mirror. Metaphorically speaking, of course, not literally. What I mean by looking in the mirror is taking a deep, soul-searching look at yourself. Understanding your likes and dislikes. What are your strengths? What motivates you? What are you really good at? And what sorts of lifestyles do you really enjoy? Once you've figured all this out, you have a much better chance assessing each trade for what fits you best. Now you can dive in the deep end of selecting a particular trade. To create your short list of options, do your own research and find out about the different trades. Speak to family and friends and ask their opinion. Find out what each apprenticeship looks like, where it's offered, the subjects to complete, and how long it usually takes and costs. Your school will be able to support your research and point you in the right direction to find the information you need. There is also the Trade Academy offered by Empowered Women in Trades that provides an immersive apprenticeship experience, which is a great way to dip your toe in a variety of trades over a short period of time to discover which trade suits you best. When looking at a trade, you need to consider whether you will meet the numeracy or literacy requirements of the apprenticeship, which will vary between trades. There are a huge range of trades out there, so dig a little deeper and look for the less common ones too, such as a boilermaker, farrier, fitter and turner, cabinet maker or glazier. The options really are endless, and it may be a less common trade that fits you just right. With an understanding of what makes you tick and the trades to choose from, it will become obvious which is the right choice for you. Whether you use criteria to make your selection or just go with your gut, only you will know what feels right. Time to back yourself and go for it. The second part of an apprenticeship journey is to find a job. Easily said, I can hear you saying. Well, actually, when it comes to apprenticeships, it's not as challenging as it sounds. Apprentices are highly valued members of the workforce and a type of worker that many businesses are often actively seeking. There are dedicated websites and organisations that advertise apprenticeship vacancies, and most schools that offer a VET pathway also provide assistance with finding a job opportunity with an employer. It's important to understand a job under an apprenticeship is not a full-time job. Time during your working week will also need to be spent at school. If you're following the VET pathway, it might only be 1 day per week you are actually on site working with an employer, and the other 4 days split between trade school and high school. If you are not at high school, your apprenticeship week will be a combination of trade school and working with your employer. Businesses that employ apprentices understand these multiple commitments and structure the work accordingly. An alternative to being employed by a business as an apprentice is to work for what is known as a Group Training Organisation, or GTO. These are organisations that employ apprentices and then hire them to host employers where the on-the-job training occurs. An advantage of this approach is that it potentially provides apprentices with a broader range of on-the-job experiences. Part 3 of the apprenticeship journey is to sign up with an administrator. An administrator is an organisation responsible for both administering the paperwork associated with an apprenticeship and providing a range of resources and services. With the many different stakeholders and contracts that come with an apprenticeship, the administrator's role is to make life for the apprentice as simple as possible. The most important contract for an apprentice is the National Training Contract. It legalises the arrangement between an apprentice, their employer and their trade school, and is what is required to make an apprenticeship valid. The good news is your administrator will guide you through this process and will have contract templates to meet your needs and make it as simple as possible. To ensure administrators meet minimal standards, they must be approved by the Australian Apprenticeship Support Network as an AASN provider, such as the Melbourne Eastern Group Training, or MEGT, which is one of Victoria's 4 authorised providers. The last part of getting your apprenticeship up and running is to enrol in a trade school. Trade schools are responsible for providing the classroom training of your chosen trade and assessing your competency upon completion. Different trade schools offer different apprenticeship courses, so you will need to find one that offers courses in your chosen trade and best suits your needs. In the same way administrators need to be approved, trade schools also need to be registered as a Registered Training Organisation, or RTO. One of the services your administrator should be able to provide is to find an appropriate RTO for your chosen trade. The most common RTOs are TAFE colleges such as Box Hill Institute. These RTOs generally offer a very broad range of courses and fully equipped facilities to train you in the latest practices, technology and machinery. Some RTOs also provide Apprentice Support Officers, or ASOs, who provide personalised support and guidance to apprentices throughout their apprenticeship journey. So there you have it, Gabby. Pretty simple when it's laid out like that, isn't it? Now, most importantly, above all else, work out what makes your heart sing to help choose the best pathway for fulfilling your greatest potential. Make choices that leave your options open, and always remember to back yourself.
Wow, a career in trade sounds so exciting and a great way for me to earn and learn. I'm off to go see what trade suits me best. Let's go, Coco.
Take the leap and start an exciting career in skilled trades today.